Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. Today I'm going to a Goodwill I don't normally go to, but I thought let me pop in and see if I find anything that we can flip for a profit. So I do find a good about 10 items in different categories that I can flip. So I want to make sure I share those with y'all today. The first item straight off the bat is this really cool vintage handbag. They're asking about $7 for this. And the possible sale on it is about 20 to 40 bucks. The one I have pictured here, these ones are a little bit nicer and a little bit better shape. This one's kind of busted up on the inside. And so I decide I'm not going to go ahead and get this because I didn't want to spend the $7+ on it. That'll only bring in maybe 20 bucks, 25 bucks. But it's one of those things that, say I found it at a yard sale, I would definitely have picked it up for a buck or two rather than, that $7 really starts eating into the profit. So again, I like looking at the purses, handbags, wallets. Those are things that are pretty easy to ship, pretty easy to take care of and store. But I don't see anything here, so let's move on to the next section. Over here, there's like the little end caps, the little baskets, and a lot of times you'll find purses and clutches in here. This is a nice little clutch, but it is banged up. So this feather one caught my eye. The more I looked at it, the more I think it was maybe handmade because it was kind of, I don't know, it was a mess. And it was all folded up and it had lots of feathers. They were asking about $5, a little over $5. And I probably would only maybe be able to sell it for 20. I found one that was an Aldo one that was new with tags that sold for $19. So that was definitely one that I left behind. This one I think is another Aldo handbag, but not one that I brought home. I started noticing these are all Miche shells. Miche was like a purse. It's like one of those what do you call it? Like a Mary Kay type of deal where they sell it. Oh, look, there's Mary Kay. But it was like these purse covers, and you would just switch out the purse covers. This one is a vintage Liz Claiborne, so this one really caught my eye. It's really nice shape. They were asking $13, but this is one of those things, like, I got excited. I was like, this is really nice. It's in really great shape. It looks almost new for its age, but they just aren't selling for that much, you guys. So when I looked it up, I saw maybe 25 bucks on that, but no, and I didn't think, I can't, spend that high amount and then make that kind of return. But again, it's one of those, like, if I found it for $1 at a garage sale, yeah, I'd probably pick it up. But not for that amount. I never did get a chance to ask you guys to go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Margaret. My partner Juan and I, we flip things on eBay, Etsy, Mercari, Poshmark, everywhere online that we can, and we also sell locally. We're full-time resellers, so if this is something you're interested in and you like videos like this where we show you what we're buying and selling, both for online and for local sales, then this is definitely the place for you. So make sure you're subscribed and getting notified when we put out new videos, and sometimes we go live, so definitely take care of that at this time. All right, next up is this. It's a Jack George. I didn't realize it at the time, but I just thought this looks really nice. You look at the quality of the piece, the leather, it looks really well made. The stitching looks nice. Then I start poking around like, wow, this is a Jack George, and these can go for a lot of money. So this one, let's see, what are they asking for this? They are asking a little over $10, and the possible sale on this one would be anywhere between 40 and 80 bucks. I think closer to that $50, $60 range on this one because it's that nice organizer. But Jack George is a brand that if you don't know it, it's worth taking a peek at. It's worth keeping kind of in the back of your head. The crossbodies, the backpacks, those ones tend to sell for a little bit more than some of the other purses. But it's just another purse brand that you could have in your wheelhouse. I'm still in that phase or that mode where if I see something, you just have to look it up. I mean, there's no one person that can know everything about every brand and every category and every single thing. So I'm constantly learning new things. So if you know any, other handbags or other brands as we're going along today, then definitely leave a comment down below because we are always learning from each other. I'm learning from the comments and you guys and the things you tell me, constantly learning. And hopefully you can learn something from me too here and there. It's a win-win for all of us. So as you notice, I don't do a whole lot of clothes. We are trying to branch more into clothes because the this possible looming recession is coming. We want to make sure that we're getting all the kinds of things that people are buying during a recession. We did a video just last week about, recession-proof items to sell. So if you didn't get a chance to check that video out, I'll make sure to link it here so you can check it out, because it's we really talk about expanding your wheelhouse of what you're doing to make sure that, I see a lot of people, their eBay sales are tanking. Mine too, y'all. But luckily, some of our local sales have really been saving our business a lot. So I'm really grateful that Juan is tackling a lot of our local sales in that kind of arena. So something to think about. All right, so I am looking through, this is just an area that I'm comfortable with, and this is like linens and scarves and tablecloths, placemats, things like that. I always talk about some of the same brands, Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel, some of these that are usually pretty good flips. So on these, I'm flipping through these looking for labels to see if I see any that I am familiar with. Those are cute socks, but I don't know what they're doing there. I've heard that sometimes the Goodwill employees will hide things in the wrong area so that they can buy them later. I guess that's true. Somebody's talked about that in one of the comments on another video. I don't end up finding anything here in this section, but when I turn on the end cap, I notice pretty quickly down the way. Do you see him? I see Cartman. Cartman is from South Park, and he's a very angry boy. He's a troubled boy. But this is a pretty big Cartman doll, and as it turns out, this is one that's worth a lot of money. This one is a talking Cartman, so he's got a button. The button wasn't working, and as you can see, look, his shoes are kind of like peeling off. He's kind of a mess. The batteries, he wasn't working, so I didn't know. But as you can see, the prices on these can go anywhere from $30 not working to $100 almost. He is in kind of rough shape, but I end up not getting him. I kind of regret it now, but I thought he's got so much work I've got to do. I can't remember now what they wanted for him. I didn't pop it up there. But for whatever it wasn't going to be worth me cleaning it and doing all this other stuff. But hello, lamp. So here we've got this cut glass cranberry lamp. It's tall, it's gorgeous. I'm sure there's another name for that shape, and somebody will tell me. They're asking $13 for this, and this is a possible sale of anywhere from between $75 to $200 depending. I found a couple online that were kind of similar. Like this one was the most similar to it, and that one sold for about $100 or $200 almost. This one I thought was an Ottlight, and Ottlight was one that I usually would look for. But when I looked this up, well, first, this was not an Ottlight, but secondly, when I looked up Ottlight for this video, some of the prices had kind of dropped. Brand new, these Ottlights are expensive. They're crazy expensive. But some of the resale value on them just wasn't there, so I was kind of disappointed in that because it was one that I always looked for before. I've got a number of Ottlights that were my grandmother's, and my mom likes them as a quilter sewer. They like them because they put out really good light, but I don't know. There's probably still some Ottlights that can sell for a good profit. When I say not great, I mean like $17 to $20. When I know brand new, it probably is like $75 or $80. Anyway. All right, so I'm always scanning through the games. If you don't know games, just try to grab one in your brain that you can be looking for. And an easy one to look for are specialty Monopoly games. They didn't have any here, but some of these specialty Monopoly games can go for a lot of money. So like Rudolph, Shrek, you name it, there's a Monopoly game for it. We have Stranger Things, we have Walking Dead, we have Fortnite here at the house. We have a ton of the specialty Monopoly games. And they can be worth money. Definitely look them up so that you're knowing what you're getting and make sure the pieces are there. But that being said, even if all the pieces aren't there, some people part them out and they make more money from parting out those pieces than they do from selling the game entirely. So I always dig through the plush. I look for things that are unique, something that maybe I don't see all the time. Definitely brands to look for, Stife. Those Squishmallows seem to be selling really well. Name me some other brands, you guys, that you see down below. Or name them down below, I should say, not that you see down below. But, and if I found something that was really unique, like an armadillo plush, something you don't see, that kind of stuffed animal frequently, it's something else to keep an eye out for. So I am now entering sort of uncharted territories. Not totally uncharted, but it's areas that I'm still learning, and I'm constantly trying to learn more, like I said. There are things that I know to look for, but it's just from doing this kind of research. Every time I go down the aisle, I find one new thing, look it up. If that's not selling, find something similar that's selling. And I've started learning about melamine plates. They don't all sell for a lot, but there are certain brands and certain patterns that do. There's Pioneer Woman. There's a few different brands, Sur La Table, that, and then there are just some off-brand ones, really. Cynthia Rowley, that's not an off-brand, but it's worth looking up. I found some, what did they have on them? I think they were clowns or something, and they were doing okay, and I can't remember the brand now. I'm going to try to rack my brain, but I know me, and I know I won't remember. So those, and then some of these divided plates as well. So some of these can sell for a pretty good profit as well, whether it's, somebody at home that just likes that, or they have kids and they want to be able to separate all the food out, all the different reasons. Maybe you don't like your green beans touching your mashed potatoes, whatever, no judgment. I personally mix it all together. Let's swallow it down. But there are some divided plates that can sell. Again, it just depends on what you're buying them for, but here there are melamine ones. Then these are some Pottery Barn kid ones, and then of course Tupperware makes them as well. And if you can get them for $1 or $2 at a garage sale, then $30 profit is pretty good. I just thought these little, what are they? They're like little plates. They're little, I don't know, prep plates? What would you call those? They're just little plates. I just love the bright colors, but I did not get them. So going along this section, I'm starting to move into candlesticks and straight up candles. There are some of these 3-dimensional candles that they have here that I was intrigued by. These look like a Hummel, but it's actually a candle. And so this might have been a good pickup, but I didn't get it. I just wasn't, I don't know. And I'm wondering now why I didn't look it up. What do you think? Was this something I should have picked up or left behind? Because some of these 3-dimensional candles can sell for good money, just depending on who made it and what the pattern is. This is a pumpkin 3-dimensional candle. Pretty cool. I mean, generally anything Halloween, fall, like that kind of decor will sell. And I do still look for Scentsy. I am a little more picky about the Scentsy burners that I pick up because some of them, again, with anything, some sell better than others. So it's always good to look it up. I'm just noticing now that little tan and brown, like little igloo cooler. I didn't even look at it. This always happens, you guys. When I go back and watch these, I always see stuff that I missed. But, c'est la vie. Can't go back now. Well, it's probably not there. It's been a number of weeks because we went on vacation and we are back now. Let's see what else we see here. This looks like a little frog. That doesn't look like it belongs on top of that. Looks like somebody stuck it on top of that candle. Yeah, a little like frog for flower arranging right there. But those can sell, y'all. I mean, where's the price? What was that? It was pretty cute. I remember one of my best finds ever at the bins were these little teeny bonsai planters. And I can't remember now what they sold for, $115, $120, but it was a set of like 8. And they were little bitty planters like that. Yeah, so just the most random stuff sells. All right, I found this wooden figure of a woman and child. I end up not getting it. I mean, that kind of stuff can sell, but in the moment I guess I wasn't feeling it. You ever have those moments where you're like, this could probably sell, but I'm just not feeling it? Maybe it's just me. All right, so I always like looking through the stationery planners, all of this stuff, because there can be good money here as well. I don't end up finding anything too fantastic today, but some of the things to look for are this perfect planner. Those can sell for pretty good. Moterm personal planners, those as well. Franklin Covey, there's a bunch of different varieties of that brand. And then Happy Planner, you got to be careful, but some of the Happy Planner accessories and stickers, if you find them new and for a good price, they can sell for a lot of money. It's crazy how expensive that stuff is. Really expensive. I just noticed too those checkered placemats or tablecloths. I should have looked at them to see if they were vintage, but I did not because I didn't notice them until just now. All right, so this is another area that I am personally still learning. Every time I go in, if you aren't familiar with every single item in every single section and what brands to look for everywhere, I really suggest, taking the time go through, and it does take time some days where I just have to take an item, look it up, go to the next set, look it up, but that's just, it's the quote hard work, if you want to call it hard work, but it's the hard work of, learning other brands and learning other things to look for. It's really not that hard, duh. But it's, it's worth the time and effort because all you're doing is helping your own business and expanding the things you can sell. So I think this is a little butter dish. It's really interesting. It definitely has a piece that sits down, so maybe you put cold water or something at the bottom. It's got this like French country look to it with the yellows and the blues. It's really sweet, but I couldn't figure out quite what it was. I think it's for butter, but there's no cover. And then it's not for soap, right? Because soap would have like a drain in the bottom with the little holes. So what do you guys think? Is it for cheese? What is it? Help me out here. But I fell in love with that. I love the little French provincial like country look to the pattern. Definitely cute. I did find a French butter dish with the same kind of pattern, but it was like one of the covered little butter dishes, and it was selling for $20-25 in that range. So figure I'll pick it up, figure out what it is, and I will sell it. As cute as it is. All right, my mug life peeps, where you at? I'm moving into the mugs. Now, I have become a lot more choosy about the mugs that I pick up. I love selling them. They're super easy to photograph, it's easy to store, easy to ship, everything. And usually you can get them for a good price. Sometimes the thrift stores have been getting a little crazy with their pricing on the mugs, a little too much for my taste, but I can still find them pretty cheap at garage sales. Some thrift stores I can still find them for a good price, but it has gotten to where there used to be mugs that I would pick up every time. And I knew the brands and I knew what would sell, but just like every single market, things change constantly. So you can't just always go off what worked before because it's not always going to work forever. So I am now at the point where, I find a mug, like here in a minute, I'm going to find a Snoopy mug, and that would have been an easy, oh, for sure, I'm going to get this. This is going to sell, like Peanuts, Garfield, all of that stuff. But it just isn't the same. There has to be some kind of spark almost in the market, or some kind of spark in pop culture that sends people looking for that item again. So it's nice to have if I found it for a quarter. So here it is. If this was a quarter, sure, pick it up, sell it, no problem. But the ones for this one that are still really a good seller, for Peanuts, are those Fire King ones. Those can still sell for a really good profit. There's this Hallmark one with Linus and his blanket, but I just couldn't pick it up for that price and just wait for maybe a $10, $12 sale. This is an Opal House mug. Opal House is the Target brand. It's one that there are a few that are worth some money, but not all of them. So if you find the few that are, then it's worth it. And again, but if I found it for a dime or a quarter at a garage sale and sold it for $15 bucks, that's still a really good profit. I'm not turning my nose up at a, $7 profit. This is a Anthropologie mug, and this is another one that, see, I put it straight in my cart because I was like, this will sell, but they just aren't. I mean, like, there's a couple of them that are, but again, with Anthropologie, it depends on the mug. These shaving type ones used to do really well, not so much anymore. But there are some other ones it's worth looking up because they could sell for $35, $55. And I want to say I hate that it's like that, but it's just the nature of the beast. I wish that we could just learn one thing and keep that in our brain and never have to learn anything else and be good to go for forever. But, this isn't mathematics or accounting or things that are set in stone. These are ever changing and shifting, markets that we live in, what people want and what people buy. That's just the way it is. This is a really cute cactus dish. I think it was $3 something on that one. It was pretty cute. All right, so glassware is another area. I talk about it in the last few videos that it's something I'm still learning. These are a little harder for me because they're not always marked. So, but there are people that know. I mean, they can look at it and they'll know. So these little cordials, right? Is that what those are? I think they're little aperitif, like little cordial glasses. There's only 3 of them. Maybe I should have gotten them with the cute little lusterware kind of iridescence on them. These glasses are promotional glasses from Alamo Draft House. I don't end up getting them because it's once again, I thought, oh, okay, Suicide Squad, Captain America, yes, they were asking about $2 for each one, Rogue One, but some of them were only selling for about $8. But again, there are some, like if it was It or Princess Bride, those are the ones that are selling for more. So it just kind of depends. And, as I always say, the entry price really does determine the profit. So while they want $2, if I found it for a quarter at a garage sale, yeah, I'd probably pick it up for a quarter and sell it for $8 to $10. These are fun. I don't know what kind of glass you call that, but they look like they had a golf ball at the bottom of them. So they might have been a good pickup because I know golfers are crazy and they spend lots of money and I don't get it. But whatever. They love it. They're happy. No judgment. It's all good. You guys, I hope you found something that you could take away from this video today. That is my main goal. Juan and I just want to help, educate, because we've got some tough times ahead. We both are talking about it all the time, feeling it coming, with this recession coming, and want to make sure that everybody is able to keep a roof over their heads and food in their kids' mouths, right? So if you enjoyed this video, please go down there, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a comment. Let us know something that you're out there still flipping, what's selling for you, so that we can continue to move forward and be prosperous together. I appreciate you watching, everyone. Bye.